My wife tried to convince our friends and neighbors I was cheating so she could get my assets in divorce. When I found out, I exposed her to everyone. I'm 37 male, living in a typical suburban neighborhood where everyone knows everyone's business. My wife, Elle, is 33, and we've been married for 5 years, together for 8. I work in IT, which means I spend a lot of time at the office or working from home on projects. It pays the bills, we have a nice house, and I thought everything was fine between us. I mean, sure, we had some rough patches, but what couple doesn't? I should have known better. There were signs that something was off with Elle, but I ignored them. She'd stay out late sometimes, telling me she was with friends or at some work event, and I didn't question it because I trusted her. And yeah, I'd been working longer hours, but it was for us. I thought we were building a future together. Turns out she had other plans. The first clue came from our neighbor, M. He's a good guy, lends tools when I need them, helps out with yard stuff. But one morning, when I went over to borrow his ladder, he was weird, distant, like he didn't even want to talk to me. He mumbled something about being busy and practically closed the door in my face. I didn't think much of it at the time, but then it started happening with other people too. Friends who used to be easygoing and always up for a beer started acting weird. They'd make excuses, cut conversations short, and give me this look, like they knew something I didn't. It all came to a head when a mutual friend, D, pulled me aside after work one day. He looked uncomfortable, almost embarrassed. "Look, man," he started, scratching the back of his head. I didn't want to say anything, but people are talking. Talking about what? I asked, genuinely confused. Elle's been saying you've been cheating on her. I stared at him like he'd just told me I had a second head. What? That's not true. I know, but that's the word going around. She's been telling people you've been seeing someone else, sneaking around behind her back. I felt my stomach drop. I wasn't cheating. I hadn't even thought about it. I'd been working my ass off for us, trying to make sure we were comfortable. Why the hell would she be telling people I was cheating? I confronted Elle that night. I waited until after dinner when we were both sitting at the table, the plates pushed aside. My heart was pounding, and I felt sick even asking her, "Are you telling people I'm cheating on you?" She didn't even flinch, just kept eating like nothing was wrong. "What if you are?" she said, not even looking at me. "I'm not," I replied, stunned. "Why would you tell people that?" She shrugged. "You're never home, you're always working. People notice things. I guess I said some stuff, and maybe it got out of hand." "Out of hand?" I repeated, my voice rising. "You're telling people I'm sleeping with someone else. That's not something that just gets out of hand." She didn't seem to care. She acted like it was no big deal, just something that happened. I was floored. The conversation ended with her walking away, leaving me sitting there, staring at the table, wondering how the hell my marriage had gotten to this point. Over the next few weeks, things didn't get better. I started hearing more rumors. People at work, people in the neighborhood. Elle was telling everyone I was a cheating bastard, and I had no idea why. Then, I found out she had gone to see a divorce lawyer. A buddy of mine had seen her downtown, walking into an office, and mentioned it to me in passing. I couldn't believe it. She hadn't said a word to me about it. I decided to check our bank account, and sure enough, several $1,000s had been transferred from our joint savings. I confronted her again, asking her where the money had gone. She was slick, like she'd rehearsed it. "It's just for savings," she said sweetly, like I was the crazy one. "We need to put some money aside." I didn't believe her. So that night, when she was asleep, I did something I never thought I'd do. I checked her email. We shared a computer, so it wasn't hard to pull up her account, and what I found made my blood run cold. She'd been emailing a lawyer, planning out how she would divorce me, take the house, most of my savings, and even push for alimony. The kicker? She was going to claim that I had been unfaithful, that I'd cheated on her, so she could walk away with everything. But that wasn't the worst of it. She had created a fake email account, pretending to be some woman I was supposedly having an affair with. She had sent herself messages from this account, using it as proof that I was cheating. She even had pictures of a random woman she'd found on Facebook, saved on her phone, as if this was the person I was sneaking around with. I was livid. She had built this entire narrative, telling everyone I was the villain so she could get the upper hand in the divorce. And all this time, I was completely in the dark. She wasn't just spreading rumors, she was framing me. I confronted her the next morning, shaking with rage. I threw the printed emails on the table and demanded she explain herself. "What the hell is this?" I asked, my voice barely controlled. She didn't even try to deny it. "I deserve better than this," she spat. "You're never home. You work all the time. I'm not happy, and I shouldn't have to stay with you just because you're too busy to notice how miserable I am." Miserable? I couldn't believe what I was hearing. "So your solution is to frame me for cheating? To ruin my reputation, hat my life? How could you do this?" "I had to do something," she snapped, her face twisting in anger. "You don't get it. I'm tired of being second to your job, second to everything else. You don't even see me anymore." I was speechless. She was trying to justify what she'd done by making me out to be the bad guy, as if working to provide for us was some unforgivable crime. I told her right then and there that we were done. I was filing for divorce, and I wasn't going to let her take everything from me. But it wasn't over yet. Elle wasn't about to let me go quietly. She doubled down on her lies, going around to everyone in our circle, friends, neighbors, even coworkers, telling them I was abusive, that I had been cheating on her for months. The rumors spread like wildfire. Suddenly, I was getting cold looks from people I'd known for years, people who wouldn't even give me the chance to explain my side. I knew I couldn't just sit back and let her destroy my life. I talked to my lawyer and handed over all the evidence, emails, fake messages, everything. But I also knew that wasn't going to be enough. The damage was already done in the court of public opinion, and if I wanted to clear my name, I had to go straight to the source. Our neighborhood has an annual barbecue, and this year it was set to happen in the middle of all this mess. I knew Elle would be there, playing the victim, soaking up the sympathy of everyone who believed her lies. So, I decided I would use the opportunity to set the record straight. When the day of the barbecue came, I waited until most people were there, drinking beers, chatting, kids running around. Elle was off in the corner, laughing with some of the other wives, probably spreading more lies. I walked right into the middle of the yard and called for everyone's attention. "Hey, can I have a minute?" I said, my voice loud enough to get over the chatter. People turned to look at me, some with curiosity, others with obvious discomfort. "I know a lot of you have heard things about me," I continued, taking a deep breath. "And I need to set the record straight." I pulled out the printed emails and fake messages I'd brought with me and started passing them around. Elle has been telling everyone I've been cheating on her, but that's not true. She made it up. She created fake accounts, sent herself messages, and built this whole story to make me look like the bad guy. People's faces went from confused to shocked as they read through the evidence. I could see the disbelief turn into disgust, but it wasn't aimed at me anymore. Elle tried to interrupt, laughing nervously, saying I was crazy, that I'd forged the emails, but no one was buying it anymore. Our neighbor, looked at her with pure disbelief. "Is this true?" he asked, his voice low. Elle snapped. "You don't understand," she shouted, her face red. "He's never home. He doesn't care about me, about anything. I deserve more than this." People started backing away from her. It was over. After that, the divorce process was quick. The judge didn't need much convincing once he saw the evidence. Elle didn't get the house, she didn't get my savings, and she sure as hell didn't get alimony. I was relieved, but also exhausted. The whole thing had drained me. Once it was done, I thought I'd feel triumphant, like I'd finally won. But honestly, I just felt empty. I mean, sure, I'd saved my house, my money, and my reputation, but at what cost? I had spent years with Elle, built a life together, and it had all come crashing down in the worst way imaginable. And for what? Because she felt neglected? Because she didn't like that I worked long hours to give us a good life? After the barbecue, the neighborhood was never the same. Some people stayed friendly, others kept their distance. Even though I'd cleared my name, there were still a few who believed her version of events, or at least thought I had to be partially to blame. That's the thing about a lie. It sticks, even when the truth is staring people in the face. Elle moved out a week after the confrontation. She went to stay with her sister in another city. I didn't ask where or what her plans were. To be honest, I didn't care anymore. Once the divorce was finalized, I cut off all contact. No social media, no messages, nothing. I had to start over, even though it felt like I was picking up the pieces of a life that wasn't even my fault to begin with. I spent a lot of time reflecting on everything. How could I have missed the signs? Was there something I could have done to fix it before it got this far? But the truth is, Elle's actions were her own. She made a choice to manipulate, to lie, to try and ruin me so she could come out ahead. And that's on her, not me. As for me, I focused on rebuilding. I threw myself into work, but not the way I had before. I started taking time for myself, going out more, reconnecting with friends who'd stuck by me. Some relationships were beyond repair, and I had to accept that. Not everyone can handle this kind of drama, and I don't blame them. But the ones who stayed, they were my real support system, and I'm grateful for that. Life is quieter now. Some days, the house feels a little too big, a little too empty, but it's peaceful. I don't have to deal with her constant games, the manipulation, or the lies. I can breathe, and that's worth more than anything she tried to take from me. So if there's anything to take away from my story, it's this. Trust your instincts. If something feels off, it probably is. And don't be afraid to stand up for yourself, even when it feels like the world's against you. I almost lost everything because I trusted someone who was supposed to have my back, but in the end, the truth came out. Anyway, that's my story. If you made it this far, you're probably a sucker for drama, so hit that subscribe button.